Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing exceptionally well. I've been spending quite a bit of time going through all of the comments, and I came up with today's video largely in part because of some of the questions that I've been getting over and over again. I want to address some skincare issues that not always good to go it alone on, and there are so many amazing ways to take care of your skin at home through skincare products and DIYs, all of that type of stuff. And we talk a lot about that on the channel. You know, I'm a very big supporter of holistic approaches, natural approaches, and DIY approaches when they can work. But sometimes there are some issues with your skin that you're better off not going it alone, at least getting some advice, either because in some cases it can make the condition worse or cause you more problems down the line, or there just is no shortcut to having a dermatologist see you about these issues. And I'm going to share the top ones in today's video. All right, so as I said, skincare issues that you really don't want to go it alone on. And fortunately, there's really not that much out there that you need to worry about. There are a lot of things, again, you can do on your own, but I really wanted to step in today and make a fairly serious video about these particular topics, again, because I see them in the comments so often. Now, if you're new to the channel and not familiar with me, I want to thank you for stopping by. I'm Chris. I am a skincare expert, and I help you find skincare that will work for you, not empty your wallet, and not do you more harm than good. So if that sounds like it's something that you're interested in here on YouTube, please be sure and hit the subscription button and the little notification bell so that you know when my new videos are up every week. So of course, again, my channel is full of all kinds of videos on how to solve skincare issues, even some of your most daunting ones. But today we're going to clear up and give some clarification on a few of these that you need a little more assistance on. The first being sebaceous filaments. Now, the thing you need to understand about sebaceous filaments is that they get confused a lot of times with blackheads because there is a similar look to what happens with your pore. Now, a blackhead is simply a hardened collection of sebum, the oil that you produce, and dead skin cells that have reached the surface of the pore, hardened, kind of have like a cap on them, and they turn dark. Now, they're pretty easy to remove. There's all sorts of videos on my channel about this. There's pore strips, all the things. You guys know what to do with blackheads and how they're removed. It takes that cap or that dark spot off of the top of the pore, and voila, the pore looks smaller and it doesn't have a blackhead. Sebaceous filaments are quite a bit different. They are actually structures in your skin. They're a tubular part of your pore. Tubular, I like that. That's an old 80s thing. Anyway, they're a part of your pore, and their job is to help move the sebum or the oil that you produce up through and across and out onto the surface of your skin to help build and protect your lipid barrier, and also to lubricate and support the hair follicle in the pore and its growth. The problem is, if you have oily skin like me and you have genetically bigger pores like me, especially if you have a tendency to acne-prone skin, they tend to be a lot more visible. And so we hear things like, I have these large pores, I have blackheads all over my face, I don't understand what they do, I can't get rid of them. And the big problem is that people try to squeeze them or treat them as if they were a blackhead. And when you squeeze your pores to push out the sebaceous filament, and it will come out, it will look like a string when it comes out, you're actually damaging the structure of the pore. You can create a problem where your pores look even larger over time, or actually do some scarring to your skin. So sebaceous filaments are one of those things we want to leave alone, which is why it's in this video, and I get asked about this all the time. Fortunately, a very easy way to help these look smaller or minimize the look of these is to simply do a steaming session with your skin with a device. You can use one of those, or a hot washcloth for 5 to 10 minutes before your morning cleansing routine. And what that does is it helps the sebaceous glands empty into the filament, sebaceous filament, and move a lot more of that oil out of your skin. So you're actually helping it work better without damaging your lipid barrier and not pushing and squeezing. So we don't want to do any pushing or squeezing. You can also use 2 skincare ingredients that are very helpful for this. One being niacinamide, which we talk a lot about on the channel. It helps reduce, or not really reduce, but regulate your oil production. It really can help your pores stay clearer, and it also helps with inflammation, which also helps make pores look smaller. Now, the other ingredient that's very helpful for this is salicylic acid, and that's in a lot of acne preparations for a very good reason. It helps to thin the sebaceous oil out a little bit, make it a little more liquid because it does tend to be really thick. It also helps dissolve the little dead skin cells that get trapped down in that oil, making it thicker and duller looking, and actually push out the edges of your pores, making them look larger. Salicylic acid is a BHA, which means it's very effective at penetrating the skin, whereas AHAs, alpha hydroxy acids, are applied to the surface of the skin and help detach the dead skin cells from that point. But salicylic acid works much better down in the pores. Now, you can get these 2 ingredients very easily. I always recommend The Ordinary because that brand is fairly inexpensive and very easy to access either in retail stores or online. They have a niacinamide product that is very good, as well as salicylic acids. And I will put links to those 2 items down below in the video description box for you to check out at the end of this video. Next up on the list is something that I get asked about almost every single week, and I have some good news and some bad news about these for those of you wanting to treat them at home, and that is cherry angiomas. And cherry angiomas are those tiny little bright red moles that a lot of us get. They're very common after the age of 30. You can be genetically predisposed to more of them, and a lot of people freak out when they show up all of a sudden thinking there's something really wrong or they have skin cancer. And the internet exacerbates the problem because when you go to look these up, they are falsely associated with all sorts of diseases and reasons why you should be nervous and your life is going to be over and all this crazy crap that is on the internet about these. They're very common. They're usually harmless. They are not skin cancer, although you do need to monitor these just like any mole or mark on your body for any changes or irritation or excessive bleeding, things like that. You want to be sure that you keep an eye on those just like you would any mole. And to be honest with you, when I first saw the ones that I have, and I don't have very many, just a few, back in the 90s when I turned, I think it was 34. I was 34 years old, so that would have been 98. I went to the dermatologist and thought, what is this? What is this stuff? What are these? Do I have skin cancer? And of course, that's when I first learned about what these really were and not to be worried about them. Now, you can't really remove them at home, and I'm going to tell you why. What they actually are is a collection of little tiny red blood vessels. That's what makes them that bright red or pink. So they're not like a normal mole, which is a collection of skin cells that have a lot of melanin in them and tend to be darker. So it's a different type of mole, so to speak. So if you go to try to cut these off or mess with them, they will bleed a lot, and that's something you don't want. That also can lead to the potential of an infection, which you don't want, and it also can leave a permanent mark or scar. Most of us just live with them. They're usually really small, but if they're in an area on your body that gets irritated, say like from friction with your clothes, or you really just don't like where it is, like if it's on your neck and it's very visible and it's giving you a lot of self-esteem issues, then absolutely you should see a dermatologist about these because there are many ways that they can treat them. There's electrocauterization, which is sort of like burning them off with an electrical current. There's cryosurgery, which is freezing them. And if you've ever had a wart or a mole frozen, it's a very similar process to that. They can also use laser surgery, which is a little more invasive and takes a little bit more time to heal, and also shave excisions, which is where they actually cut or shave the top of the angioma off, even with the surface of your skin. For a lot of people, that is the least invasive, least expensive, and it works very well. Now, why not do that yourself at home. Again, for the same reasons I spoke of before, there's a risk of infection when you do these if you don't do them correctly, and they can really bleed because, again, it's a collection of blood vessels. You really don't want that. It's just easier to have the dermatologist look at them and factor out what is the best procedure to give you the result that you want. Now, another skin condition that you really should get assistance with and not try to deal with on your own at home has to do with boils and cysts, which are actually two different conditions. And I want to tell you about each of those really quickly and what to do about them. First are boils. Boils are actually a staph infection where staph bacteria has gotten trapped down in the hair follicle in the pore. Your body, human immune systems have evolved to be very reactive to staph infections because they can kill you. So quickly, it's going to attack the staph infection. You can get a boil from that. You can have like a sore spot from an ingrown hair that has this turn into a knot overnight. That's happened for a lot of people. It's fluid filled because it's a lot of white blood cells and a lot of fluid trying to protect your body from that staph infection that you have in the hair follicle. They can be quite painful. You do not want to squeeze or push on these for a couple of very good reasons. The first reason is we don't want to push the infection down into the skin or further. We don't want to break the blood barrier and have that infection spread. Also, when we do that, we also increase the risk of scarring or a big divot in your skin where the boil has been. So it's really great to contact your doctor, your medical doctor, or your dermatologist early on because they have all sorts of topical ointments and oral antibiotics they can prescribe for you right away to help reduce that problem in a hurry. So really pay attention if that's what you have. The other are cysts, which are different from boils. They usually are not painful. They're usually like a knot either that blends into the skin or under the skin, kind of hard. It's actually a sack of material, debris, oil, dead skin cells, bacteria that has been sealed off, and they are very difficult to extract on your own anyway. Same reasons we don't want to push on them or squeeze them because we don't want to have a scar or spread any sort of infection. Dermatologists and medical doctors are able to extract these, and they need to be extracted in full because there's a sac that forms around these that protects them from spreading under your skin, and it's kind of a hard sac. So if you were to push the material out, even if you could, it's going to fill back up and grow again. So it's better to just have them extracted early on. I know these sound like simple things. I know there's a million home remedies out there on YouTube and on the internet for these sorts of things. Needles, hot washcloths, just all kinds of stuff. I even saw one that was applying hot butter. So no, just be sure that you check with your doctor and your dermatologist because they can give you some steps, some instructions on what you can do at home to try to heal these quickly. And if they're not getting any progress or you're not getting any progress, they can prescribe stronger medications to help you out. And since we are in the summer months here in the US and a lot of the world, it's hot. Hot as Hades, at least it is here in Florida. And I can tell you, this time of year, we see more allergic skin reactions than other times of the year for a lot of reasons. Bug bites, bee stings, plant allergens like poison ivy, poison oak, heat rashes, sunburns, all sorts of things that can make your skin very irritated. The problem with the allergic reactions are that if untreated, they can become severe and land you in the ER. I have had a lot of friends who have gotten poison ivy, tried to treat it on their own, not let their dermatologist or doctor know they had it going on, and had to go to the ER to get a shot to actually clear that up. So be aware that this time of year, skin can be very sensitive. We wear a lot less clothing, or at least I do. And yeah, nature is not always on our side in the summer months when it comes to this sort of thing. So if any of these things we talked about today, you get a gut feeling you need to get some assistance, go get it. Now, I hope this video today was helpful in giving you guys some clarification on when it's a good idea on certain things to just at least check with your dermatologist or your doctor and let them know you have that situation going on. Save you a lot of money and a lot of grief and a lot of pain later on. If the video was helpful, please give it a like, share it out, comment below and let me know if you've had any of these situations occur for you and how you dealt with them, because I really love to know. Also, be sure and check out my videos that are coming up next that can help you get your best skin ever, I promise you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you over on the next video.